You know, when this is what I had to try and look for when it came to He-Man Revelations, it doesn't speak a lot. I'm actually going to keep this on here for a lot of reasons. One, if you haven't seen He-Man Revelations, go watch it. And two, do not click on any of these videos. Yeah, no. I want to put a bet out there that 90% of the people who are hating on it have not seen it. Yes, I challenge them. If they are going to make these kind of, clickbaity type things, have at it. But here's the thing. If you're going to say shit about something, at least watch it. So, was this me trying to shit on the woke 20-year-olds who probably haven't lost their virginity in ages? Yes, but moreover the fact I actually wanted to talk about the fact that, I actually like this show. For better or worse, this show has a... When I heard that Kevin Smith, who made Chasing Amy, that was it. When I heard that Kevin Smith, who made Chasing Amy, Silent Bob, and Mallrats, and you thought that it was going to be He-Man, like the 2002 version, or more specifically, the 1980s version. That is the other issue I kind of have, is when... You can definitely tell these types of videos do not represent what was actually being shown. Or even the director in that case. Cool, you wanted He-Man to be He-Man. Look, at first I was with these guys when it came to stuff like, I don't know, pick one. Last Jedi, heckin' Captain Marvel, I don't know. Like, literally, if you look at this, there is an interesting narrative about these people being woke. Which, let's get that out of the way first. I actually hate the word woke. The fact I'm even saying this in this video means I haven't vomited yet. And my biggest pro to He-Man Revelations, I'm just going to call it He-Man Revelations because Master of the Universe is just asking for trouble. But anyway, my thoughts on He-Man Revelations very much stay the same. It's set in the same world. While it does have a darker tone, it kind of stays within its own kind of tone. Like, the tone of the 1980s movies was silly and goofy, and they do keep that. Hell, I even wrote down on my notes how much Mark Hamill's Skeletor just had me belly laughing from beginning to end. Yes, even with that spoiler that happens. And that's the other issue. This does not summarize what the show is. That's my other complaint, is that these videos that are just shit-posting clickbaits that easily get 10,000 views because... reasons, I don't know. Like, when I see these videos, it does actually make me question the person behind the camera. Ethically and morally. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, He-Man Revelations is actually really good. First off, it's done by Powerhouse Studios. They did Castlevania. And second of all, it's written by Kevin Smith. Like, literally, this was a nerd's wet dream. And you can definitely see it when he's doing it. Like, he knows the lore. Again, people kind of shat on Rian Johnson because they were like, oh, he doesn't know the lore. Oh, no. But, fun fact, Kevin Smith, you can definitely tell even if he already knew the lore, it looks like he rewatched the 80s cartoon. Drunk, high, or just clear-minded, I can't tell which, because I would have a hard time watching the 80s cartoon, to be honest. That shit is dated. I'd rather watch the 2002 cartoon. Anywho, so with He-Man being this all-forgotten property, like, I actually had to think about this as like a little narrative project. What if Transformers did this? And this is where I'm going to get into spoiler territory. If you guys do not want to get spoiled, but again, as I'm seeing, people have definitely watched this show. I'm going to spoil it. So, essentially what happens in He-Man is He-Man gets killed. You know, first episode. I actually kind of had the biggest shit-eating grin on this one. Not because I hate He-Man, but because it kind of makes a jab at Saturday morning cartoons. You know, everything's fine. We'll fight. I mean, I think even Venture Bros made fun of this, where the hero gets murdered, and the villain just kind of feels like, well, shit, what now? I think I can go terrorize those people, but it won't be the same without my He-Man. And I actually like that they killed him off. There's a second twist that I'm like, you really are, there's no turning back. Now, first off, this is a sequel to the 80s cartoon, and second of all, why I like this He-Man show is kind of the exact opposite of why people hate it. So Teela, as this video talks about, becomes the main character, essentially, and so does the ensemble cast. Hell, I actually kind of think the world of Eternia, air quotes, is probably the prominent main character in this. I loved seeing how the world changed now that He-Man's dead, and even Skeletor dies. Wait, what? Me? Yeah, Skeletor dies, and you really can tell that these two characters that have been fighting for years, the minute both of them die off, a third party comes in and is like, hey, what'd I miss? Oh. Shit. Ransack the place? Sounds like a good idea. And that's kind of what I like. It's like what I liked in these 5 episodes of He-Man is what I liked in the 4 episodes of Castlevania. Actually, to kind of put a finer point to it, and I can easily twist this, if Sypha became the main character in this spin-off show, I'd be okay with it. She's strong, powerful, can do exactly what's needed. And to be fair, Teela doesn't start off strong. While she's played by the great Sarah Michelle Gellar of Buffy fame, she doesn't, jump in head first and becomes He-Man. Like, I will admit, if there was any issues I would have had, it's if she literally had the sort of power. But instead, they kind of show her trying to grow her own. Now, granted, if I have any nitpicks, how we get from basically He-Man dying and then Teela basically separating herself from everybody, I'm not a huge fan of that. Like the phrase "dicks out of nowhere." It came out of fucking nowhere, guys. But they only have 5 episodes, and to be honest, if I knew who Teela was like in the 80s serials, probably they kept this very to the point where, like, every time Teela was there, she'd know that Prince Adam and He-Man were the same person. That actually leads me to another point, because I've been watching Miraculous Ladybug, and to be honest, I actually pitched an idea to my girlfriend. I was like, so what if we made an animated show where Hawkmoth wins and the main characters are dead? That's essentially what happens on this show. It breaks the norm of every single Saturday morning cartoon where everything gets cleaned up. To be honest, I actually could see them doing that with Miraculous, with where they're going in Season 4, but that's me. And we're going to get off my tirade on that show, because it is both wholesome and strangely amazing. You wouldn't have expected me to watch it, to be honest. The other thing I like about He-Man is, like, the minute He-Man dies, he's not off the board entirely. Like, I do love that if Teela didn't have a stronger relationship with He-Man in the 80s cartoon, they kind of made sure to pick that up and move with it. I'm curious how this is going to end, because supposedly this is 10 episodes. And we got the first batch this weekend, and we'll probably, if I had to put a guess on when we'll get this second batch, it's probably 6 months from now, because they've already written the whole season. So we'll be back to this. But there was actually an episode that a lot of people hated that I liked, which was when Space Glow shows up. And he basically is like, yo, I can get you out of here. I can make everything all better if you just show me what scares you at night. Me, sign me the fuck up. Give me 1,000 needles for fuck's sake. I don't care. But the big thing that I kind of get off this is that, like, Teela's fear was all that she could not live up to be the next He-Man. And I kind of like that, again, from a story perspective. And everything, like, here's the thing. I never got bored during a single episode. I was either a mix of intrigued, curious, and then overall grin on my face from beginning to end. Like, they touched on the nostalgia buttons here, guys, and Jesus. So overall, I'd give He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelations Part 1. You know what? I'll do one better. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, because 8 Skeletors is better than 1.